Hey there, it's Elby. How are you doing today? All right, so today I want to talk with you about failure and success. And I want to share with you how failure can grind you up. It says that failure and despair, can grind you and leave you in the dust. And I want to share with you today a little bit about how to avoid that, how to change the scenario, how to change all that, for yourself. The first thing I want to share with you is there's a book, one of my favorite books. I have five or six books that I love, and the Bible. I love a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I love the 12 Pillars by Jim Rohn and Chris Widener, and this book that I'm going to talk to you about today called The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino, and one more book called The Science of Getting Rich by suddenly forgot his name. It'll suddenly come to me. But anyway, Wallace Wattles, there you go. It did come to me. So anyway, these books have profoundly changed my life, and I want to talk to you about this, the greatest salesman in the world. There's a scroll. I know it sounds interesting, doesn't it? It's a scroll. There's scroll number. Let's see, what number is the scroll that I'm going to be talking about today. I believe it's scroll number... Gosh, off the top of my head, I'm thinking that it's number 6. But anyway, I know you probably don't care. But I will. That will come to me as well. Okay, so I will make sure to get that for you because it will come to me. But in this scroll, it talks about that. It's scroll number 8. Okay, and the scroll goes like this. It says, "I will multiply my value 100-fold." Okay, and it talks about how, when you have wheat, you can do 3 things with it. You can feed the wheat to the pigs, or you can grind up the wheat and turn it into flour, or you can take the seeds and plant them and make 100-fold of those wheats, right? You can turn one wheat into 100 and so forth. And so it compares the similarity with your life. Are you getting wasted by getting fed to the swine? Is your life getting wasted? Or are you getting crushed, like you're grinding up the wheat, crushed by failure and despair? Or are you being planted in the ground and watered so that you turn into not only just one wheat, but that one wheat turns into 100-fold of what that wheat started out, just one grain of wheat. So the thing is, right, is that failure, this is a really interesting part about this book, is it talks about failure and despair. And failure and despair is something that can really grind you up, because a lot of people can, including myself, get bogged down by failure. Failure just comes around and hits them again and hits them again. It's kind of like a child learning how to, stand up, how to walk. They just keep falling down, but they keep getting back up and getting back up. It's something amazing that God's put in them to learn how to walk, And so the thing is, inside of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, actually there's 13 things that can change your life and to help you create a huge goal, to create not just a little goal, not like a little goal, take out the trash. Anyone can do that, but a hard life-changing goal. There's 13 things that can change your life. And number 8 of those 13 things is persistence. Okay, persistence, because persistence, inside the greatest salesman in the world, it also talks about persistence. It talks about how the bulls will come charging at you, and then they only pick the bull that keeps coming back, and it keeps getting more pain, and they keep jabbing it with the blade, and the bull keeps charging again and again, and it doesn't give up, right? And they'll pick the bull that doesn't give up the most to be the one, I guess, that they put on display with the I don't know the name of the person that does that, Matador or something like that. So persistence is really important. Inside this, I think it's scroll number 3, it says, I know the secret that if I persist long enough, I will win, right? And that's, you either going to get chewed up and ground up by failure and despair, or you can be planted in the ground. Okay, now listen to this, it's really important. It talks about the ground and the darkness of failure and despair as being the darkness that surrounds the seed, right? And but what do you do with the seed? You water it, right? And the warm winds and the water, and it helps it to grow, right? And so the warm wind and the water represent wisdom, right? Allowing yourself, pouring wisdom into yourself every day, okay? Allowing yourself to be fed, okay? And that means that you need to feed yourself, not only with food, okay, but with words that are going to help you to grow. And in that book I was telling you about, the 12 Pillars by Jim Rohn and Chris Widener, it talks about how suddenly lost my thought. What was I going to say? Well, I was talking about the failure and despair as being the darkness around you, and how you have to feed yourself wisdom, right? And so Jim Rohn talks about taking time. You have to take time to change, all right? And to not only feed yourself food, but to feed yourself wisdom. And Jim Rohn talks about taking half an hour or an hour a day, whatever you can, even 10 minutes, anything that you can, and start feeding yourself every day. Personal development, learning, growing, wisdom, becoming a better person, challenging yourself, looking back on your day and saying, hey, what did I do right today? What did I do wrong today? What could I have done better today? And just kind of forgiving yourself, but learning from your mistakes, right? These are things that you can do every single day. But, like Jim Rohn talks about, what's easy to do is easy not to do, right? It's easy to eat an apple a day. It's also just as easy not to eat it. And so these principles have changed my life. And so I want to encourage you that if you allow failure and despair to be around you, okay, but not ground up by them, all right? Allowing the wisdom, getting yourself around wisdom, taking time out every day to feed yourself wisdom, okay, from God, from people that can change your life, that can help you. These 5 books have changed my life, absolutely changed my life from the inside out. And so, you have to feed yourself, personal development. That's the very first thing. Jim Rohn talks about 13 things. No, I'm sorry. That's Think and Grow Rich. So, Jim Rohn talks about 11. What is it called? The 12 pillars. There you go. 12 pillars. And pillar number 1 is personal development. It says that you become. It says, how does it go? It says, I want to say it just right, but it says something about how you, by taking time to grow, okay, there's a word for it. It's okay. You believe me. Hang in there. you will be rewarded. So forgive me. Okay, but it says something like that the marketplace pays the most for the person who gives, not gives the most, but brings the most value, right? So if you want to bring value to the marketplace, you have to be a person of value. And how do you become a person of value? By growing, by allowing yourself to feed yourself things of value, and becoming a better person. Personal development, becoming a person of value, feeding yourself value. And it says that the person who brings the most value earns the most. Okay, so if you want to earn more, become more valuable. I think that's it. I'm getting closer. Well, you can laugh with me. So I am doing this completely from my heart, and I hope these principles really help you. Okay, so I want you to realize, though, it's really important that to surround yourself with wisdom every day, to allow yourself to grow. You are your biggest asset. And now there's 3 assets that I can think of off the top of my head. Okay, the one is your money. That's an asset. Your team, the people around you, your business partners, people in your world that help you and help you succeed. I call that your team. You can be your direct team, those who are actually earning income for you and building up, and while you're helping them. Okay, so it's give and take. But also, your actually number 1 asset is you. Okay, and so if you don't take time to better yourself, then you're neglecting your most valuable asset, because your most valuable asset is your mind and your brain and yourself. And so you can become of more value and increase your income by being able to increase your value and give more value. And but not only that, but you're surrounded by failure and despair. It's the darkness around you. But as you start to feed yourself wisdom every day, you start to grow, and all of a sudden that head pops out. The wheat pops its head out of the ground, and all of a sudden, it starts developing. And now inside that one wheat, there's all these little seeds that can turn into so much more. And so you start to multiply your value. And you can think about as yourself. You start to become more and more successful as you keep doing it, as you keep failing over and over and over again, just like that little kid falling down the ground. You keep getting better and better and better. And it's so exciting to see yourself achieving, and eventually in that head popping out of the ground, and you're starting to do things right. And you've done it so many times, that one of my mentors told me, it was Paul J. Meyer. He said, success is perfection, right? And the perfection I always wonder what he meant by that, but perfection means that you have done it so many times, you failed so many times that finally you did it right. You did it perfect because you did it so many times wrong. So I just want to encourage you with these thoughts that eventually, if you keep at it, is just like the greatest salesman in the world. Inside the scroll number 3, it says, that if I persist, here's a great secret: if I persist long enough, I will win. All right. And I hope this story about allowing yourself to be planted in the darkness and the ground of failure and despair, you eventually begin to grow if you keep feeding yourself that wisdom. And in the Bible, it talks about that wisdom, right, is almost equal to riches, right? So if you have, it says even wisdom is even about more valuable than riches. It says it even goes beyond, like it can save your life, right? Wisdom is so much more valuable than anything. And so as you start to grow that wisdom, you start to become a completely better person, different person. And it says that wisdom is justice and truth and all these things that are so amazing. Now, just remember, you're God's creation. God made you in his image. And so you have the very essence of who God is in you, and you can ask God for strength and be who God wanted you to be, because inside your mind, your imagination, you are so valuable, so intense. Your mind and your imagination can create such amazing things, and you think, oh, it's just me, just my brain, nothing amazing. It totally is though. Disneyland, before Disneyland was a place, it was a thought. It was just a thought. Okay, and Disney just kept nurturing that thought. He kept watering that thought until it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden it started taking on shape. And that's all you need to do. Just water your dreams. Water what you want to become, what you want to do, what your purpose is. What did God create you for? What do you feel passionate about? How do you want to help other people? How does God want to help you to help others? It says, delight yourself in the Lord, and he'll give you the desires of your heart. And I forgot where that is. I think it's Psalms something, 23:7 maybe. I hope I'm right. But anyway, so it talks about delight yourself in the Lord. And it says delight in God. Delight yourself in the Lord. If you make God if you make him your delight, you start to realize something. Your desires start to change, because you start realizing how amazing and beautiful God is. Because God is everything. He's wisdom, he's beauty, he's everything that we desire, right? He's created everything. All the trees, the clouds, the sky, the most amazing, our thumb, right? like unbelievable what it can do. Like our eyes, better than any camera. Our mind, better than any computer, right? Our DNA has more, they say our DNA has more, information in it than all the libraries in the world. Just our DNA, just one person, me or you, right? More information in our DNA than all the books in the world. So you are so valuable. So you are so precious, So I want to encourage you to don't let that go. Realize your potential. Realize that you don't have to be ground up and fed to the swine, or ground up into nothingness, or fed to the swine. You don't have to let your life be a waste, right? You can be planted and allow yourself to grow, even through the failure, through the despair, and let yourself get that wisdom, so you become a better person, and you start to persist long enough, and you start to achieve, and everything starts to change for you. Okay, I hope this really helps you. This is Albie. Hey, listen, if you want to know more about our team and how to work online, make extra money in your spare time, and in fact, you can even do amazing things. You can make so much money online. It's just unbelievable. And I was like that week, getting crushed by failure and despair, right? but I just kept going. I just kept persisting it, and I started learning. There's 5 critical skills, what I call them, 5 skills that can help you to achieve your goal, your dream, to be able to work for yourself and to be able to create income for yourself online, and be able to do things that you always wanted to do, like travel or go places or do things for people, whatever it is, right? You have the potential. You are the potential. You are that amazing thing. You just have to keep nurturing that dream. Okay, and if you want to find out more about our team, all you have to do is just go to albie360.com, and it's ALBIE, ALB as in boy, ALBIE, the number 360.com, and go ahead and connect with me. There's one of the very first tabs on the very far left hand side says how to earn $25 to $75 completely for free. Click on that. It's a good place to start, and I'll show you how to make some money completely for free, how to get everything, how to get the ball rolling. All right, you have a wonderful day. We'll talk with you soon. This is Albie. Take care.